P-51s there. The P-51D is without doubt the most famous of all American World War II fighters. Probably the most recognizable and iconic of any American fighter of any era.
Ironically, the bubble
known for its dependability and ruggedness.
Basic strength of the P-51 was its range. There goes P-40 again. P-63 taking off. The United States did not really use the P-63 very much. Most of them were shipped to either the French or the Russians.
Yeah, the belt piece dynamic refinements, a little bit more useful load as well as a more powerful engine. The interesting thing about the New York-based Bell Aircraft Corporation is that their engine design was a mid-engine airplane. The engine is actually behind the pilot, with the glide shaft running down below the pilot to the propeller.
That's where they can mount an Oldsmobile 37mm cannon in the nose. P-39 Kingcobra.
The Russians were extremely successful with the P-39, but we only had a good look at the B-25 missile. Again, this would be known as a PBJ if it were in a Navy configuration, the same airplane basically. Pass here by the P-38 again, and a nice yellow pull up there. See the bottom of that P-38 has those alternating white-black stripes on it. Those were used by all Allied aircraft during the D-Day invasion, June 6, 1944. They were hastily painted on as a quick identification marking.
They call them IFF stripes. Identification, friend or foe.
Nice tight formation of the two P-51s there.
That P-63. It actually has a laminar flow wing compared to the P-39, but basically the same engine, same Allison V1710 engine.
Yeah, P-63 today is being flown by Will Whiteside. Tried installing the Merlin engine in the Mustang. British prototype did. We actually put it into production as the P-51D. Good look at the P-25 and the P-40s and P-3 following up. Anyway, once the P-51 was fitted with the Merlin engine, it had a much longer range. It was able to escort the
B-17s all the way to the Soviet Union and landed in the Soviet Union. And in fact, the top Allied ace, Ivan Kosovu, accidentally shot down one of our Mustangs.
Good look at that mid-engine P-63 Kingcobra. Yeah, most of the Allison airplanes we had in our inventory were not turbocharged or supercharged. Only the P-30s and P-40s were built, and only a few of them had Merlins. Most were Allison powered. A good looking formation here from the east.
Okay, here we have the two P-40s, we have the P-38, and the B-25. P-40E bringing up the rear. Can't quite keep up, it seems like, but it was a great plane.
P-38 was originally designed by Tony Johnson, Lockheed Skunk Works. He originally had built a few other designs for Lockheed before then. Because the airplane was a twin engine, he wanted to build an aircraft with twin rudders on it, which necessitated doing a twin boom configuration on it. And it made it itself a pretty good range escort fighter. Also a very high performing airplane as far as terms of speed.
Now, one of the problems with the P-63 and with the P-39 is you would get into the cockpit by opening up a car-type door, which actually made it very difficult to exit the plane if you had to get out of the plane because it was on fire or had been hit. And in fact, many times pilots would jump out and hit the hose on the stabilizer. So you had to get out of it a certain way.
Will Michael Pratt please meet your party at the announcement booth? Michael Pratt, please meet your party at the announcement booth. We're right in front of the control tower here. Here's a nice sight formation of U.S. Army Air Corps aircraft. Again, P-25 in the lead, P-40, P-38, and P-40. Again, that B-25 would be called a PBJ and US for different manufacturers. They didn't always follow the first digit that the manufacturer had. Like Grumman was F instead of B, used for North American got J.
Now, Mustangs were made in, I believe, El Segundo and in Dallas.
P-51 had that famous laminar 100 grand. That's
Okay, that was a P-38 that just flew over. The prototype P-38 was actually destroyed.
Derek.
That's the British firefighter.
German pilots were warned not to engage in combat with the Yak-3s below 10,000 feet because they were almost invincible.
Here we have the Zero followed by the P-38. Our top ice stick bomb through the P-38 had 40.
Steve Hinton Jr. and the Firefly by Ed Kurtzy.
The Firefly was a standard fleet air-armed fighter, and at the time the British believed that all their fighters should have 2 crew members for flying over the ocean. I thought that was a safer way to do it. It was P-47 chasing the FW-190, the scene you would have seen over Western Europe in 1944.
Started the war and ended the war with the P-47 Thunderbolt, and they were one of the deadliest squadrons in the 8th Air Force. Another look here at the Zero being pursued by the P-38. Out of this year's event, give you some historical overview of the museum as well as a look at what we're doing this particular weekend.
I'm sure none in a hurry.
Zero P-38 combination. The empty weight of that Zero is less than most of the cars in the parking lot. That airplane weighs just about ballerina. To be very agile, it had very little protection for the pilot. It had nothing in the way of armor plating or self-sealing fuel tanks like our aircraft did.
Firefly. And I believe the Firefly had a Griffin engine.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's a Rolls-Royce Griffin, a big engine. It's got a lot of power.
Now that Yak-3 is powered by... Now notice when you see these two planes in the distance.
In the early days in England, the Thunderbolts were all painted OD, as were the P-51s. Later on, the advent of radar, they stripped the airplanes and they go a little faster.
And you can really see the different shape with that white cowling on it.
There's Firefly.
Yak-3 and Normandy, Yemen markings there.
We have the Yak-3
Comes P-38 chasing the Zero. Zero could outmaneuver the P-38 and it could outclimb it, but the P-38 was faster in every other way.
They built just about 10,000. The plane's called the Zero. Is
Comes the Lightning and the Mustang again. Now the P-38J was really the first model that they had kind of worked the bugs out. For quite a while, the P-38 was not allowed to dive because it would hit compressibility and frequently lose its tail and it died because it would hit transonic speeds.